Hello, everyone, and welcome to Business Incorporated here on Channels Television, Nigeria's news leader. Is glad to be with you at this time. Let's get started on today's show. Nigeria's capital importation increases to $6.3 billion in the first quarter of 2018, while Ghana sells $2 billion of two-tranche Eurobonds, and South African Airways is getting $400 million lifeline to keep SAA in the air. I am boasting them for you. And this is how the 30 minutes of the program looks like. We kick off with the latest data from the National Bureau of Statistics indicating a steady uptake in Nigeria's capital importation in the first 3 months of the year, $6.30 billion in the first quarter. The 594.03% year-on-year growth is for the fourth consecutive quarterly increase since second quarter of 2017. The increase represents 17.11% quarter-on-quarter growth and was driven by portfolio investments that accounting for 72% of the total $6.3 billion. According to the Statistics Office, the quarterly growth was $3.4 billion over the $4.5 billion earlier. But let's go to the markets. I'll take it. Sorry, let's start from Nigeria, where the stock market's now making a turn for the positive after 4 straight sessions of decline. This week, we're seeing the Nigerian stock market up by 0.48% at intraday lunchtime. The South African GSE Group, which is the continent's largest stock exchange, was off track by almost 0.2%. The Egyptian market is close with the rest of the GCC on Thursday, but that market went down 1.75%. And Kenya, the market was 1.37% in the positive territory on Thursday. As you know, the Middle Eastern markets are closed for the week, but shares were mixed on Thursday, with Saudi's petrochemical stocks up as Brent crude rose about $78 per barrel. Other markets in the region continue to feel pressure from geopolitical tensions after Israeli forces traded fire with Iranian forces in Syria. Look at the numbers there on your screen, and you can see the Abu Dhabi index slumping 1.1% at 44.37 on Thursday, while the Dubai financial market slipped about 0.27% at 288. 1.8. The Qatar Stock Exchange was off track by 1%, and the Saudi Tadawul 7,914 off track. Sorry, that's a positive one. 0.46% sidestepping other major markets in the region. So European markets slightly higher on Friday morning after a strong trading session seen in both Asia and the US. The German DAX sped across the 30,000 level. Now it's back a little bit below that level. Let's get a sense of that trading day from the European marketplace from Frankfurt. Daniel Koop, my colleague, the DWTV, is standing there at the Frankfurt Stock Exchange for Channels Television. It's good to see you this Friday afternoon, Daniel. Let's get over this, the DAX crossing today 13,000, but I can see there across your shoulder that the DAX is losing some of those shirts that it made early today. What spooked that 13,000 level really?
Yeah, exactly. Hi there, Bozen from Frankfurt. Good to see you again. Just you might be wondering, maybe our viewers who are watching us every day, what's happening behind here. A little different colors here today at the Frankfurt Stock Exchange. The reason we actually had an IPO taking place here this morning. Enphone, a cloud telephone company, started their public listing here today at the Frankfurt Stock Exchange. Actually already with winnings that we can report. Yes, the 13,000 point mark, even though we had a national holiday here yesterday, the blue chip index DAX jumped after weeks and months over this, what many investors here call the magical mark of those 13,000 point. Again, why was this happening? Well, mostly actually because of the strong dollar and the weaker euro. We have to remember that the blue chip index DAX is an index with lots of companies, the 30 most important companies here in Germany who rely a lot on the export-oriented business with a strong euro that we have seen here more in the first part of this year. This was giving mostly the companies a hard time who do export, as they then have to rethink, maybe make their products abroad more expensive, and then they are not anymore that competitive. Right now we are at a level, let me actually have a quick look. This is all real here, 12,981 points, just a little bit under this mark right now. Let's see how all of this is going to develop throughout the day. In general, it has been actually quite successful here. When you look at the last weeks, also here at the blue chip index DAX, we have seen now 7 weeks of winnings, and a similar picture we are also seeing at the other markets around Europe as well. So yeah, let's see how the next week will unfold here at the blue chip index DAX.